Oh, Spider-Man. I want to play with Spider-Man. It's cold. I have no neck. How'd that happen? I have no neck. Uh-oh, how'd I get to no neck? Who goes there? Oh, ah! Oh, no. Hello. Okay, that hurts. All right, anyway, Marvel Future Revolution time. What do we want to talk about? Oh, yeah, that guy must have been sledding or something. So anyway, welcome back. Marvel Future Revolution. If you probably saw the other day, I created a gear tier list to help folks figure out what the best gear types are for the different characters. And this is sort of a mini follow-up to that to get a little bit more in depth for each particular character. So I'm hoping that these are things that might help you. And if you're not super aware of what a build might be for a character, that this is the sort of thing that could get you going a little bit. I should say this for each video I do about this, is a lot of this depends on your play style. The game, if done properly, is you'll be able to pick multiple sets of gear. So these things will evolve, they'll change. It might be slightly different for you, but I'm hoping that this can help most players, if not all players, including players at the top who might think of something different. So I'd love to hear from you guys. Mention below if there's gear sets or skills that I've left out here that you think could or couldn't work. Like I mentioned in my other video, I talked to a lot of people about, these sort of things. So hoping it'll help you a little bit. All right. If you're new to the channel, check out the Discord link in the description below. Doing a lots of talking there, and it's the easiest way to follow along content. Hammer down like buttons, notification bell, subscribe, all that kind of thing. Let's get to it.
Bring me WolverThor!
Okay, so the way we're going to do this, I've got in the middle of the screen, you can see a snapshot from the little gear tier list. This is Black Widow. So we are going to be doing that, and I think I mentioned that at the front end. Maybe I didn't. I might have to clip that in. Oh, by the way, this is Black Widow. There, that's the clip for it, right? So anyway, what we're going to do here is we've got the gear tier list that we had from the other day. So we're going to go into here and look at what we got. So the ones we're going to start with specials, right? So, and we'll just work our way down from Osiris, Rise the East, all that kind of stuff down. So as you can see on here, the Osiris is Trap Expert Espionage Devices. What you get, you can see Trap Expert here, right? So this is Trap Expert. You use any of these skills? Okay, if you can, great. That's what you're looking for. If you don't use any of these skills, don't even look at Osiris. Period. So Deluge is a big one. Sticky Bomb, this one here, that is another big one that people use often. So if you're looking at this gear set, those are the two you're gonna look at. I personally use Sticky Bomb in a 1v1 situation, whereas I use Deluge, Trap Deluge, the one on the left here, for a group setting. That's just the difference that I personally like. Now the next part of this is Espionage Devices. So Espionage Devices, you'll see, is up here, class, right? Now, there's tons of Espionage Devices. You can see this Underhand Throws an Espionage device. Sticky Bomb was an Espionage device. I believe the last one is as well, yes. So Poison Trap is also an Espionage device. When you go into Widow's Wire, Espionage device. We've got Espionage device for Piercing Anchor. You've got the Net, which is an Espionage device. I always mention knee. Now, I personally am still using Knee Dive in my solo fights. I take a lot of heat for this. It is not the best in the world, but I do like it for closing ground on people. It can be a massive hit if you can land it, but it misses a lot. So think of that. And then Widow's Wire is another one. This was hot for a minute, but it does require a lot of stam. I don't know. I don't really love it. It keeps you stationary. If the range was a little bit wider, I'd like this one. Now, one of the things that I would say that you got to remember with Espionage Devices is the specialization cooldown fell off on this. So that's part of the reason why I think you see this and Hydra sort of fall out a little bit. Explosive Grenade, you see Espionage Device. I think all of these are, if I remember correctly, Flare Gun, Poison, or Chem Grenade, Espionage.
And so there's tons of espionage devices all over the place. That is not, and Widow's yeah, deadly fire, or concentrated, and then close quarters. So those are the abilities that you're looking for in that kind of set. Again, it's gonna depend on what you want and in your play style, where you kind of swing to. Again, you know, these things evolve. You know, I will say that for a long time, a lot of us were using, where is it at? Quick step. You know, now a lot of us are using exploit weakness. Different set, but just that's the concept I want to leave you. So Rise of the East. Rise of the East, you can see at the bottom here, we've got firearm, I should say firearm and deadly aim. This thing is borderline god tier in this. I think you could argue it probably is. Firearm, here's firearm. So anything within this one is what you're looking at. So if you use a lot of this, then you're going to be doing pretty well with this as well. It's a really solid skill set. I personally like it quite a bit. It's just good, right? So firearms right here. If you're not using firearm, you still might use Rise of the East because of how good deadly aim is. We'll get to that in a second. So the nice part that I actually didn't mention with the trap expert is you got to remember, and this is the part with these specials where you get another +6 on this. So you get +6 for firearm, and then you get another +6 for being deadly aim. So now, right now, I've got sniper shot. This used to be all the rave when the game first came out. It is slow. You can see she does a little like step back here. The range on this for sniper rifle, frankly, is a joke. They need to get this so that it is actually, it should at least shoot across the range of the dimension duel, frankly. I mean, and look, I'm clearly biased, but it should. It's a sniper rifle. So the rest of these are all firearm experts. The short range rapid fire, it's not too bad. It's a short cooldown, but it's, you know, it's straight and it's locked in. I don't think I've ever used leap shot before. I don't know if that's, maybe that is good. I might have to try that out sometime. You know, we'll see. It does pretty heavy damage. It's a short cooldown, but it uses a decent amount of stam. I don't know. Let me know. Anybody using leap shot? That might actually be pretty good. Frag bullet. This one is great for tracking. One of the things that, you know, it can be complicated with the first two that I showed you is it's easy to get out of the line of fire for those. This one, it tracks. So you have someone who's going to have to use a dodge on this one. And then snipe, we already mentioned this as well. Huge damage on it. Pretty easy to dodge. It's a long cooldown and it takes a ton of stam on it. So deadly aim, deadly aim, deadly aim. All the ones I just went through, they all get another +6 on it. So if you use this one a lot, or you like it, then the Rise of the East could straight up take people out. So pretty good there. Deadly aim. All of these are close quarter combat. We don't have to go through that. Espionage devices, we went through those. Espionage devices, we went through those. Espionage devices, we went through those. That's one of the things I like about espionage device is there's a lot of abilities that people use here, and that's why it's high up on the list for a lot of people. Whereas deadly aim, you're looking at this one, and where's the second one? Here's another different. Okay, well, here's the other one. Deadly aim. We got Widow's Sting. Now, I love this one for PvE. I do not love it for PvP, though a lot of people use it. You'll typically get hit for, like, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, boom. It's easy to get hit with the first ones, but the last one's pretty easy to get out of the way of. That's why I don't like it. You've got the Stinger release, which is just, nobody really uses this. It's one quick hit. I'm just going to skip over this. This one, however, double shot, is probably the most popular of all of the Widow abilities. One of the problems with this one a little bit is it does have a short range. And as you can see by the animation, she actually steps back to use it. So you almost have to be directly on top of somebody to actually land these hits. If you're not, the step back will actually potentially take you out of range if the player's smart enough to be walking away, which tends to happen quite a bit. So I do like this, but the deadly aim does make this thing. This thing hits for a truck. People one shot with that all the time. The next one we've got here is Electric Explosion. I've never used this. Looks like a short cooldown, short stamina on it. Doesn't hit for a ton. I wouldn't recommend using that. And then we already talked about the Concentrated Fire. So yeah, so that's what you got from the Rise of the East. It's not bad, but it's not great. So the last special we have up, and the nice thing about all these is these specials sort of cover a lot of the regionals, which will fly through a little bit quicker, is Steampunk. So Steampunk is martial arts in close quarters. So martial arts is this one. You're looking through here, there are no other martial arts. They missed the boat on this one, in my opinion. Nobody that I've ever seen uses these. I don't know anybody who uses martial arts at all. Maybe that's a problem. I don't know. I mean, it does seem to have decent guard break, but you know, and Widow can do decent guard break, but I don't know. I'm not seeing this one quite yet. I wish I could do test. I'd love to test Steampunk build with a dive into guard break and high stats there. Problem is if people can immediately negate that build by building up guard break decrease. I don't know. You got to think about that a little bit. So anyway, martial arts expert, if you're going to go this route, which I personally don't recommend, you're looking at stuff in this tree where we've got on the left-hand side, leg sweep. It does do a decent amount of damage. It's got quite a bit of stam to it, short cooldown, or this pressure point strike, which it does have a very, very high guard break if you're landing it. I don't know, like if you come there, you can see she pauses and then kicks. Like nobody's really going to stand there for that. So in a PvP situation, I'm not sure how much you're going to land there. Now, if she followed them a little bit, that would be better. But the cooldown's great and the stam is a decently high. The next one we've got on here is the black backflip. So again, okay cooldown, semi. It's right in the middle of everything. But again, it's unless if somebody's moving around a bit, you're not going to land this. So that's where you're probably not going to see a lot of use out of that one. This one, martial arts strike, or I'm sorry, the leg sweep, which we've got already. Again, short cooldown, decent, but it has decent stam. And then last is the crescent kick. Medium guard break, short cooldown, not a lot of stam, but again, you can see the pause and the hit, dump, you know, so people can get out of the way as that kind of comes down. It's just too easy to get out of. But it does do some bleed damage. So that's martial art. Close quarters, as we already know, deadly aim, espionage. Here we go. So, well, first off, all the ones we just went through, close quarters, so you'll double those up. So if you're not using these, then you're not looking at IOSARs at all. The one where you might get close quarter combat is this tree here, the trained assassin tree. So quick strike, basically tons of people use. Some have gone away from it a little bit. This is sort of the non-targetable ability, which untargetable while using this skill. You can get hit while using this skill, even though it is untargetable. I've taken damage from this before in the past. It just gives you a short, like, well, somebody's not targeting you. And the ability is a little bit longer, so somebody is just sitting there not doing as much. Now, what everybody's sort of switched to is this exploit weakness, which has a super crazy short cooldown and a low stam, but a really low guard break, and it doesn't do a lot of damage. So it is untargetable, but it's such a quick skill, it doesn't do much. I do like it though, because it's a nice fun dash to use. Shout out to Saki on that one. Cleave Tackle, I don't use it. It's a long cooldown, a lot of stamina. It does have a high guard break. You know, if you're able to get through them that first time and that second one still lands almost like a Iron Man spin blade, if it tracks to you, then this might be okay. But again, the cooldown's really long on it. So, and given that they changed the cooldown stuff, I don't really like it. Shock Piercer, I've never used this one. I don't know if I've known anybody who yet does. Again, similar to the last one, decent cooldown, decent stam that takes from it. So it's another shock thing. You know, if they ever build something that gives, you know, higher Black Widow shock damage, a lot of these builds could become much more valuable for her. I mean, because that's another multiplier. You will see her evolution change quite a bit in that regard. And then, you know, I already mentioned quick strike. So that's what we got for the specials. We'll go quickly through because I think I'm about at the 10 minutes or 12, 13 minute mark here for these. So we went through all of the stuff pretty much. Now, the way that these work, close quarters combat, you know, if you're using that, Dark Domain might be considering something to consider. It's Dark Domain and Xanderth. So if you're using any of these trained assassin skills, if you're using any of these martial arts skills, which I personally don't think are great at this point, fine, I'd use that. The crit damage is Xanderth, the attack is Dark Domain. Black Widow's lean pretty heavily into crit damage, so that might be something that you want to look into for the Xanderth versus the Dark Domain. It depends where you're at in the ladder stats. Sakaar, Espionage Devices, again, we've got all, and that, like, this is actually a decent, I mean, what did we have here? It's solid. The reason this wasn't really good is because of the change in the cooldown that they made for the Espionage Device stuff. So, you know, I really do like this. And then Hydra was attack. So between the two of them, they're both good. Because look, I mean, you can see, like, I myself am using 3 Espionage Devices in that skill set. I'm in battle right now, but I use a lot of these. I mean, they're all good. Like the blind, the net. A lot of people like that one. The Deluge Sticky Bomb. People are using those. I mean, this is the only other one that I'll drop one of these for. That's it, you know, and it just, I typically, I think I drop it. It depends on the game mode, frankly. So those particular Sakaar and Hydra gear sets work really, really well. Midgardia, Deadly Aim, we went through that again. The firearm and also the Widow Sting builds, all good. I have Midgardia. That's what I built because of that. So I would love to have Rise of the East in this, but it's too hard to get, frankly. So I didn't do it. As hard as it is to get the right stats on gear and then actually be able to nano it, specials, they just take too long. And then New Stark City, the ultimate, which is just this one down here, which is great for Widow. Don't get me wrong, it is, but I'm not going to use a gear set just to build up her ultimate faster. That's why we have a maybe there. And then Savage Shadowlands, you know, this one I have PvE question mark on this, because Deadly Aim really is great for the PvE stuff. So there might be a good build here in PvE to take your Savage Shadowlands, build that up, ditch all your supervillain cards that you have in your PvE, and do max damage rates cards, do total damage cards, and get a lot of supervillain damage out of this percent, or at least, you know, maybe a couple of your cards. Might be worthwhile. I don't know. Right now we don't have a lot of endgame PvE stuff, but maybe when the Alliance PvE stuff comes in, that this Savage Shadowland thing might be a thing. So I know I'm going to be looking at my Savage Shadowlands for a PvE set, but I already have my Deadly Aim Midgardia, so I'm not super worried about it. And I'm typically top 5 when I'm really getting the ability to knock down a boss. So, and that's as a 1/4-ish Widow, so that's pretty good. And I say it that way because, you know, I don't want her to get her nerfed because she's already been nerfed enough. And frankly, if she gets nerfed too much more, she's not going to be fun. So, yeah, so that's what I got for the Black Widow. I think that, you know, this is a decent little, you know, run through for these things. Let me know where you kind of land on this. I hope this is here to help you a bit. Snapshot what I've got above, and we can kind of go from there. I guess I'll finish real quick by just showing you my different skills before I sign off. All right, so I got out of battle there. So you can see in the first set here, this is my PvE build. You know, I went through everything. You kind of know the symbols at this point. But this I tend to use this in my group PvP settings. So that way I can hit more targets. You can see I've got my quick step. I've got my blinds grenades. I've got my and I've considered going back to like an explosive grenade and comboing that with Ghost Rider, but I don't know. It's hard to get a mass fire thing going. Deluge, double shot, and I got my frag bullet for tracking. And then currently at the moment for my dark dimension, or not my dark dimension, my dark domain, for dimension duel, too many DDs out there. My exploit weakness, my explosive grenade, which I am testing around with Ghost Rider still just to see. My sticky bomb, double shot, and sniper, which I've just very rarely use, maybe to try to get a dodge out or just if, you know, somebody's using an ability that, you know, is easy to hit them with, I'll get a snipe in there. So that's what I got for skills. I appreciate you guys coming by. Again, check out the Discord link in the description below. Hammer down like buttons, click notification bells, all that kind of thing. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.